Indiana Jones, Indiana Jones, Indiana Jones. It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. The Indiana Jones Minute.
Tommy.
Yeah.
Name a Christmas carol that you hate.
Oh, well, you know what? The very first thing that came to mind.
Wait, hang on. We're walking in the air.
Oh God, that's rough. From the Snowman. Is that what that's called? The Snowman?
Yeah,
God.
I think it is called the
We're
Snowman.
walking in the
I guess the snowman kills himself.
Everything is cold and gray.
I mean, but it did capture a vibe.
It totally did. Oh,
It
yeah.
did.
It's
Like
evocative.
Because there's a lot of people who are like, I love that. And you push them down.
Yeah.
But when they get back, after you push them down, you help them back up and you go, no, you're right.
Yeah, you pick them back up and then you bring them like, a hot cup of cocoa or something, and you wrap a blanket around them. You're like, you need some help. You need some warmth, some human warmth, some companionship, some love. Here, sit by the fire. Here's a dog to put in your lap.
Exactly. That's a super well done, cartoon or whatever.
Yeah.
And when you first see it, you're like, oh my gosh, they don't talk at all. You go right. It's like the David Lynch of Christmas cartoons.
Yeah.
But
that is, well, the first thing that came to mind, and I don't even know if it's a Christmas carol, but it's a Christmas song, and it's that Paul McCartney one. That rough one.
Simply having a wonderful Christmas. Yeah,
it's got all that.
Hard to swallow.
It's not bad, but it's like if it comes on, you're like, oh no, I didn't need that.
Yeah, I'm with you there. That guy wrote a lot of great songs.
Yeah. He did. Oh, I'm totally on his side. I love him.
Not one of them.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's just a little.
This is probably not a surprise, but I dislike most Christmas carols. But I really dislike Jingle Bells.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah.
Even the Batman version?
That's a little better, but they all just grate on my. Yeah.
Why don't you like Jingle Bells?
I don't know if it's the melody. I don't know if it's. I don't know what it is. It just drives me crazy.
Are there any I don't know, newer? Are there any songs that are Christmas themed, but not necessarily Christmas carols or anything that you can appreciate, that you enjoy as music?
Oh yeah, there's some. I like. I'm just drawing a complete blank.
Lou Rawls has a good Christmas record.
Yeah.
Maybe you'd like Lou Rawls.
Yeah. Well, remember the James Brown bump.
Oh my God.
Yeah. No, but like Booker T did a good Christmas album. Yeah, Jimmy Smith's done a good Christmas album. But just Christmas songs I tend not to like. I do like the Charles Brown one.
Oh yeah, Merry Christmas, baby.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, baby.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a great song.
Yeah.
And Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
One of the things when I worked at Borders, in the music store, 1906 or whatever, a very strange thing would happen. Everybody would come out. Every musical artist would come out with a Christmas record, and it would just be like, you're like, oh, Dave Brubeck's Christmas, oh, Oscar Peterson Christmas. It's just whoever.
Alice Cooper's Christmas.
Exactly. It was like, oh yeah, of course, Mariah Carey and everybody. Enya had a Christmas, whatever. And you realize, you're like, why are they doing this? Stop it. But what you realize is they would put these things on display right by the register.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched it happen. You'd have people who are already spending $982, on books and, coffee, latte, whatever, cafe gift certificates and calendars. And you would see them be like, oh, they get up to the register and they'd be like, and they grab Mariah Carey and Enya and Celine Dion.
About Christmas.
And they'd just be like, oh, just throw it in. And it was all this, it was like pablum for, Aunt Dorothy. And I forgot, I was like, oh, I don't have anything for my mother-in-law. And they'd be like, oh, she likes stuff. I think she likes, just give me Celine Dion. And it was like completely safe and, meaningless, and it had nothing to do with anything. And you could give it and it would be inoffensive.
Mm-hmm.
And there was tons of those.
That was 99% of the stuff within 2 aisles of the register, though, at every Borders and Barnes and Noble. It was just like, he likes stuff. Oh, she likes stuff. And it was just stuff.
Right.
No, the whole, you know what?
Completely
this is literally something
stuff.
for them to open.
It was literally, it was just like, it's sort of, it was like how you have, conspicuous consumption. It was just nonstop consumption.
Yeah.
And, but it was a gift giving season, but nobody knew what to give. You don't know what to give your nephew or whatever it is. You're like, oh, I'm going to that coworker's party and I didn't have that. And then they're like, oh, they like horses. Don't they like horses? And then there's a horse calendar.
Yeah, here's a horse with a red nose. Yeah.
But all you're doing is it literally makes everybody miserable, because the person having to buy something is just like, oh, I'm obligated to get something, and the person getting it's like, oh yeah, thanks, a horse calendar.
No, horse calendar
perpetuates misery.
Yeah, they like throw it over their shoulder, and there's like a pile of 46 horse calendars.
Yeah.
They're like, I get it. I like horses.
Yeah.
No, I know. It's the whole thing.
There are 2 people in my family who, my extended family, one believes that the other is super into something, and they are just not. And every single year they get this thing. Yeah. It's always fun to watch.
Yeah.
I don't want to say anybody's names because I don't want to ruin I want them to keep going because it's so funny.
It's like when you've got like the aunt or even your mom that's like, they think you like one thing once. And so every year for the rest of your life, you're going to get some variation of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's hard being a Star Wars fan sometimes because of stuff like that. I have a lot of Star Wars garbage that I never would have gotten for myself. And now I'm kind of stuck with it. Yeah. It's like like an aunt or somebody finds out that, here's a Yoda ashtray. Here's a
it's like,
here's a Yoda blanket for a kid. Here, you're 50, right? Have a blanket that you can't use it. It's got no purpose.
Like John Williams presents Rudolph. The Boston Symphony, Symphony, whatever. The Nutcracker through George Winston, or it's just like, geez, stop it.
To me, the only guy that ever captured it was that and he hated it himself, but that Miles Davis song, that Blue Xmas, where it's just like completely corporate, like against like late stage capitalism. He's like, the time when the greedy give a dime to the needy, and
I don't know that.
Oh, it's a good one.
Wow, I'll check that out.
Booker T has a great Christmas song, doesn't he?
Yeah, he got a whole great Christmas album.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. There was one. Oh, you remember, Tommy? Isn't it? You had your buddy Jay gave us the Christmas.
Oh yeah, but what?
And it was you better watch out. You better not cry. Wasn't that on there? Wasn't that Booker T?
Gosh, I don't know. I'm not.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
Yeah, he did. He does a great version of that. Diana Ross did a couple of great ones. Like
the Jackson 5 did a version of that.
Yeah, that's really good.
I feel bad now that I don't know which song you're talking about. You made me feel bad.
That's like an instrumental one. I remember the guy in the tape.
Oh, I do know what you're talking about. Oh my God, yeah. It wasn't, with like an organ, like a...
Yeah, that's
what he played. Yeah, Hammond organ.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I know who Booker T is. You're talking over my head, Jerry.
Well,
you know what's amazing about that James Brown album? The Christmas one, it's amazing. It's got like 2 or 3 absolutely incredible songs on it. But there's that one where he's clearly just making it up as he goes. It's just like he's I'm just gonna riff. I'm gonna riff and do it. and he's talking halfway through. Like he'll talk for a minute or two, like 2 or 3 bars, and then he'll sing a little thing. And he'll get off on like a Christmas is the time when you you come downstairs and you go to, and he runs out of time each time. Like he's trying to paint a little picture for you, and he runs out of time each time, and he never goes back to his original thought. And it's like, you could have written something down, or you could have done take 2 or something. It's really funny to listen to.
Nobody had time to take 2. You had to get him out by the holidays to get the cash rolling.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, to get it up by the cash register. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I'm depressed.
Oh, no, don't be depressed. We got it's a time of cheer where we get to thank people for supporting the show and everything, and introduce them to our second part of our holiday special episode.
Wait,
are these episodes like our anything goes episodes like the gift register, like the stuff up by the cash register?
Yeah. Oh, here you go. Yeah.
You like stuff.
You like stuff.
You're biding time until the rest of Crystal Skull. It's just a little tide you over.
You have to tell Aunt Dorothy that you can't answer a call because you're listening to something. Actually, I have one last question on the song. So obviously, you can't skip over Linus and Lucy, right?
No, of course not.
Vince Guaraldi. So if you were in prison and you had to describe that song to your cellmate, and he had no idea what it sounded like.
Oh,
you know.
All right.
No.
Fair enough.
No, like if you had to explain it to him, he'd be like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. And he'd be like, Linus and Lucy, like how would you describe it?
I'd say it sounds like 2
lilting.
kids. Oh, lilting?
I'd say lilting.
Sort of jaunty and lilting. Wait, did you say lilting?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Lilting.
Yeah. But
also jaunty. Yeah.
Yeah. Like 2 kids running across an empty parking lot to get to the playground or something. Maybe? I don't know.
I don't either.
I'm getting beaten up no matter what I say. I'm in prison. Why bother being accurate about songs?
There's there's like 2 versions of that, right?
Yes. Yeah, I think there's a different one on what's that other soundtrack that people did? Like a boy named Charlie Brown. I think that's the other big, collected soundtrack.
And I can never really get they both sound correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They also sound just slightly off key. They both have sort of a melancholy character to them.
See, I don't know.
Anything from that era, that's connected to childhood of the 70s, has got that. Has got that. Oh, it's probably winter. It's probably winter, and I'm probably in a city. And even though I didn't live in a city, everything on TV was in a city, and there's sidewalks and a park with trees that are bare and stuff, and
that's
like Sesame Street looked like that and stuff.
Yeah, I see other Charlie Brown or Vince Guaraldi stuff might have a melancholic timbre, but I don't see Linus and Lucy doing that. It's almost the opposite.
It is, but it's from that place.
I feel it's in there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm with you, Pete.
Thank you.
I'm with
really.
both of you.
I feel like you're staring. It's kind of like, okay, it's winter, and you're staring at that winter light.
Mm-hmm.
But that winter light depresses some of us.
No, it does. I mean, you and Emily Dickinson. I get it, but it's just like the. It's more like you're self-aware or something. You take a moment, and you're like, oh wow, I'm a lot like this has happened. I'm looking at this right now, and I'm going to stop and concentrate on this moment.
But when you're me and you become aware of yourself, you're depressed.
Okay, how about this? This is what Linus and Lucy sounds like. It sounds like you are in the midst of the doldrums of winter, and it's deeply cold and deeply gray, and there's just that kind of hazy kind of Hoth sunlight coming down, but you're thinking about summertime and fun times. That's what Linus and Lucy is. I'm still getting shivved. Nothing I can do. This guy does not care. Oh well. So much for me.
Who's number 1?
Okay, who's number 1? Number 1 is 2-1 Beckett. 2-1 Beckett. Thank you, 2-1 Beckett. Thank you, Andrew, with 2 A's, and Temba, their arms open. Star Trek. You guys like Star Trek, right? If you do, you should listen to ABCDTOM. Or no, ABCDTOS. We also want to thank Airport. Hopes everyone is ready for their episodes of the Best Minutes podcast January 4th.
Yes.
We just did our minutes for that show.
We
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
We're ready.
Why, I tell you, this is some of the best episodes I ever heard. I'm not kidding. Yeah. A dime's a nickel or something. I don't know. We also want to thank Brady and Brent from the even more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Yes.
And we want to thank Brian and Carson and Chewy as a barrow in the marketplace. Mala is the singer in a band. And we also want to thank Chewy says he'd rather be in outer space, and then he finds some work in smuggling contraband. There we go. That's nice.
Wait, was that real?
Yeah.
What was up with that?
That's
great.
awesome.
That's our buddy Ken.
That's
My
awesome.
God, that was incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, Ken.
We also want to thank Chris Go Indiana Jones Minute.
Woo.
And we want to thank Christopher. And we want to thank Cubs fan. And we want to thank Curtis. Oh, Curtis is just Curtis now. He's not the Sac News anymore. He's just good old Curtis. Welcome back, Curtis.
Yeah. See, he's having one of those moments, a Linus and Lucy moment, where he's aware.
Right. He's aware. He's living in the moment as Curtis.
Yep. I'm Curtis. That's who I am.
I don't have anything to hide. Take me as I am. I'm Curtis. We want to thank Dan. Oh my God. We want to thank Darth Patreonus asks your favorite Christmas song, and does Band-Aids Do They Know It's Christmas hold up?
Wow.
I think yes to that second part. I think
yes
these
to the
days a
second
lot of
part.
people look back on it as hokey and weird and
Yes.
dated, but I love it sincerely.
And there's that. Well, there's a few like really bizarre lines, like what is it?
Tonight, thank God it's them instead of you.
Yeah, you're like, who wrote this, dude?
See, I don't.
Who wrote that line?
Everyone
Tonight, I'm
I'm
supposed to thank God that those people are suffering instead of me.
But that's, I mean, he's not saying that. I'm defending Bono, but he's not saying that literally. He's being sarcastic. He's like, "Hey, better them than you, right? You're cozy and home and everything, and but you should be thinking about the people out there."
Sarcastic.
Yes, he is. That's the only
Tom-
explanation, because I agree.
Tom
He's not like,
loves Bono.
stop it. Pete, you stop it. You get back here.
Well, I'll say
You love
this:
Linus and
Phil
Lucy.
Collins is playing drums on that track, and
You
it's
had to bring Phil Collins in.
unbelievable. If you're going to talk about Bono
all
and his
doing
sarcasm, yes, I had to. No, I swear to God, go on YouTube and look up Phil Collins' cut of him playing along Band-Aid. It's like a 31-second clip. I've watched it 1,000 times. It's incredible. Like his drum, you don't even know what song he's playing to, but you're like, oh my God, that guy is crushing this.
Is he the only drummer on that?
That's a good
Or
question.
do they have to shoehorn somebody else in from another band too?
I think he might be. I'll tell you this, he's the best drummer on that.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yes, that song holds up. I think it's a great song, even though it has a few weird turns.
Mhm.
Other than that, you know what?
You know what's weird in that song? I don't mean to interrupt, but you know what's weird in that
No.
song? I can never tell. I think George Michael is followed by Simon Le Bon, and I can never tell on which word they switch.
Oh, wow.
Like listening to it, I can't tell when one ends and the other begins.
Well, it's like
It's just a fun fact about my brain.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
I
I love a lot of Christmas songs.
Like what? Yeah,
I don't know. I love a few years. You find new ones. Like a few years ago, my wife's mom was playing. Like I just mentioned, Lou Rawls. Christmas Is. He's got a really good song called "Christmas Is Carols That Walk You in the Snow." It's a really good one. It's nice, smooth. It's good.
I like, back when I was a substitute teacher, I did a lot of music. Music teachers always called me, and so I was a teacher for a lot of music classes. And I'll never forget, I was in I think it was a first grade class, and they were listening to, I'm totally gonna butcher it. the guy. He's a composer. He was like I think an early 20th century composer, and he did the typewriter. It's incredible. Yeah, and the song's amazing. And of course he did Sleigh Ride, you know. And you know what? I listened to it and we went over it because it was like approaching Christmas, and so we were like, so let's sort of analyze this song in a first grade way. And we listened to it 2 or 3 times, and he said like, "Oh, so what instruments do you hear? And like, when do you hear the whip cracks and whoosh." And like I got about halfway through and I was like, God damn, this is one of the best songs I've ever heard. This is genius. Like how he just it's like the rhythm of it, how he captures that you're on a sleigh ride. It's
awesome.
Yeah, it's instrumental. I don't know. That one is one that I keep coming back to.
That's cool. I thought of a better answer actually for this.
Oh, go ahead.
I have 2 better answers. Herb Alpert's Christmas album is awesome.
Oh, I can see that.
And Fred Waring and the Pennsylvanians. They put out a Christmas album like in the 40s or 30s or something. And it's got these 2 just like whacked out weird, like one side of it is like this kind of choral stuff, very straight. And the other side is like they got this totally nuts version of Jingle Bells and of Rudolph, where it goes through all these different arcs and movements and stuff and like styles. It's like, calypso 1 second, and then it's like jazz, and then it's like, crooning. It's like, it's real, and it's funny and weird, and it's really cool, and I love it.
See, okay, so let's take for a minute Herb Alpert. How would you're back again in prison. How would you describe Herb Alpert to your cellmate? He's never heard it.
I feel like if you just say a little Spanish flea, that conveys what the music sounds like.
Yeah. And his Christmas album is Little Spanish Flea, but like with a Santa hat on it.
Right. You'd be like, imagine if you were, if you're like, I don't know, you're in like one of those big, huge Buicks, like a Delta, and it's like 76.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
a woman is covered in whipped cream.
Yeah, exactly. And you feel a tingle where you shouldn't. And you're like,
somehow your mom lets you look at that.
Yeah, somehow your mom. and at the same time, there's brass. And it's it's like this mixture of brass and ass and a Spanish flea. And it's like sort of joking around and having a good time. It's like what do you call it? It's like game show music.
It is kind of.
Yeah, it is kind of.
Yeah, it's almost like. But there's
it's
like
that brassiness
but then there's this
kind of smart alecky trumpet.
There's this, but that smart alecky trumpet, like you feel like it's like whoever's playing it is like maybe they're naked, or they're wearing like
or they're with
one of
somebody
those,
who's naked.
They're with somebody who's exactly. Maybe they're wearing like. They're wearing like one of those barrels, so you can't see that they're naked. It's right, like still PG.
They are.
It just has that feeling of there's something saucy and there's some innuendo going on here, but I can't place it.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it's the brass.
Yeah. Yeah. That's his deal.
It was, whipped cream and other delights.
Yeah.
And I discovered a Christmas song this year that I love.
Oh,
that I had not known about. Sun Ra, who Jerry, I love.
You do.
In the 50s, like I think in the early 50s, they were just trying to make enough money to make ends meet, and they had started their own recording studio. Called Saturn Records, and they worked with some doo-wop bands, and they had this doo-wop band called the Qualities, and they did a Christmas song.
Wow,
excellent! Yeah, it's called "It's Christmas Time."
Wow.
But it's got
awesome.
It's like a doo-wop song, but it's got the Sun Ra weirdness in it too.
Hey, Mark Campbell's going nuts with the Spotify list right now.
Leroy Anderson, that's who it is. That's the composer, Leroy Anderson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he did the Typewriter, which is again one of the coolest songs I've ever heard.
That's nuts. All right. Well, thank you, Darth.
Yeah.
You've done it again. And thank you, Dave. And thank you, Dave. And thank you, Death Star Attack. We're gonna die right now. And we want to thank Guy with Headphones. And we want to thank Doris and Eric and Fables of Falbus. And we want to thank Febo for Mando 8765, all the canon cartoons, Rogue One Solo.
Wow, he hates Solo that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I don't think any of the prequels are on this list, which I'm not complaining about. That works for me. Do you guys know what's been going on in The Mandalorian lately?
No, I saw
know
the first 2
nothing
episodes
about
and I haven't watched any since then.
If I tell you, you'll say, that is so stupid. That's like the kryptonite of how to handle Star Wars. You guys are so dumb. Why are they doing this? And it's great. And I love it. So
Wow.
I don't know what's going on with that show. They're making everything they do sounds like it should be awful. Like just ruining, like just going exactly the wrong way. And it's all so good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
don't want to spoil it for nobody who ain't seen it.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it sometime.
It's real good. You can even just probably start watching like the second season. You don't even have to watch the first season necessarily. I mean, it's all good, but anywho. We also want to thank Father David.
Yeah.
We want to thank George Leroy Turkey Biter. And we want to thank Gonzo is Charles Dickens right now at nextscenepod.com.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, they're covering the Muppet Christmas Carol.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would be
That's
fun.
a
Still makes me
fantastic movie.
sad that we don't get Christmas jokes or elephant jokes from Sean while he's doing
Oh,
the Muppet Christmas
yeah.
Carol.
Hey, Sean, come on.
Text me a
Gonzo,
joke next
wow.
time, Sean, and then we'll talk about the next scene as well.
Wait, I'm going to Christmas
Wait, Tommy.
Christmas
Do,
riddles.
do Gonzo singing the Rainbow Connection.
Why are there so many songs about rainbow? What's on the other side? Oh, Christmas riddles for adults. Hang on. Rainbows. Okay. Wait. Where is it? This will all be cut out. Didn't we say this was going to go really quick? We're going to do a really quick intro.
It's all right. I feel good.
I feel good too. I like you fellas. I'm having a nice time. Shut
Yeah,
up.
me too.
Christmas riddles for adults. Okay. I'm just gonna, without even looking at the answer, I'm gonna. What? Oh my God! These are questions. These aren't riddles. What was the first company that used Santa Claus in advertising? And the answer is Coca-Cola.
Really?
What country did eggnog come from? I want to curse.
whoa.
I wanted riddles. God damn it!
Wait, what country was it?
What the f- is this?
Finland?
Riddle. Tolls. Oh. Goddamn internet. You know, you type in something really simple, something really straightforward.
Want to buy eggnog?
Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
You know what?
Want to
Forget
look
it.
at eggnog's ass?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Eggnog with his cousin. Eggnog with his stepsister.
Want to shoot your eggnog?
Here we go, Tom. What kind of cars do Santa's elves drive?
A Dodge
Hang on.
Dart.
What kind of cars do Santa's elves drive?
Toy Odas.
That's nice.
Terrible.
I went to
this
another
is a good
second
one.
site. Wait, I want to say how angry I am. I went to a second site. Here's some Christmas riddles. And they're just questions. They're just questions.
This one's a good one. This one's not so much a joke as an actual riddle. How many presents can Santa fit in an empty sack?
That sounds
The
really
word sack is funny.
salacious. Yeah.
It does.
Oh, the answer is none. It's empty.
One. Because after the first one, it's not empty any longer.
Because that is not empty
Oh, I
anymore.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, did you get that off highlights?
Here's another
Hey,
highlight sounding. What's the
why
best
are
Christmas gift? Oh, go ahead, Tom.
Oh no, why are Christmas trees bad at knitting?
Because they always lose their needles.
Oh, you're good.
Damn, Pete, did you just pull that out?
I did.
Wow. What you
That was
study in
good.
college?
I needles. Here's a good one. What's the best Christmas gift for the person who has everything?
Nothing.
Yeah.
A burglar alarm.
But he already has a burglar alarm because he has everything. That does not compute. All right. Well, thanks for making us do your job, Sean.
But for everybody out there, check out Next Scene podcast.
Oh my God,
stuff.
yeah. And check out Muppet Christmas Carol. That's a charming, blessed movie. I love that thing. We want to thank Hillary. We want to thank Indy5. James Mangold has not yet accepted my LinkedIn request. LOL. Speaking of, they had the big Disney, investors meeting. And they made all sorts of announcements about future Star Wars and Marvel stuff. And they also mentioned that Indy 5 is going to be the final Indiana Jones adventure coming out in 2022.
Oh, it's the final one.
That's what they said.
And
that's what
now,
they're saying.
Didn't they say that Harrison Ford is going to be Indy and the only Indy?
Yes. They've said all those things. Now, none of that means that he won't, like, on his dying breath say, "Here, Chris Pratt, take my hat and go be Dakota Smith or something."
Yeah.
So I don't know. But, hey, we'll see.
Yeah. Wow.
Cautiously optimistic. We want to thank, if the stuffing doesn't come from inside the turkey, please sound the alarm. I made my first turkey at Thanksgiving this year. The first time I've ever cooked a turkey. It went great. It turned out great, and we did not cook the stuffing inside the turkey. So I'm very sorry, Bert. Please don't be offended. Turned out great.
The night before, I went to Little Tony's and ordered a pizza.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. 2 of them.
For the next day?
Yeah. Well, I actually, for that night and the next day.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of my Thanksgiving celebration. I had 2 large pizzas to go.
Nice. That's beautiful. I would love that right now.
It was great. Little Tony's in North Hollywood. Great pizza.
Nice. We also want to thank, it's Jonathan.
Hey.
We want to thank Jasmine. And Jay asks, what's your favorite Rennie Harlan movie? Do people have favorite Rennie Harlan movies? Is that a thing?
Movie.
Who's Rennie
I will
Harlan?
help you out, Jerry, and maybe Pete. Rennie Harlan directed Die Hard 2. I think he did the Deep Blue Sea with the sharks.
Oh, okay.
He did the Ford Fairlane, The Adventures of Ford Fairlane with Andrew Dice Clay.
Wow.
I'm going to say that's my favorite. I saw that movie out of nowhere and I laughed my head off and I really enjoyed it. There's something very special about that movie that no one understood but me. But I like that movie, The Adventures of Ford Fairlane with Andrew Dice Clay. And the rest of his movies I don't really think I care for, do I?
I'm looking... Okay. Cliffhanger, The Long Kiss Goodnight. Oh, The Long Kiss Goodnight was god-awful.
I think you and I saw that maybe.
Yeah,
at
with
the
Gina
Dollar
Davis.
Theater. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sam Jackson.
Yeah, and it was one of the worst movies I've seen.
Well, I guess it's a movie. All right.
But hang on. That doesn't mean...
It's possible that the only one of his movies I ever saw was Die Hard 2.
And Die Hard 2 is not horrible.
I don't remember what it's even
I
about.
could see...
It's got a plane.
I know I saw Die Hard 2 as well, and I don't remember it. But I could see that it was probably fine.
Yeah, there you go. We all think that Die Hard 2 is fine, Jay.
I'm trying to... Yeah, I'm looking at... I didn't see...
I think he's married to, what's her name? To Gina Davis. Or was.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Doesn't excuse anything. Just a little tidbit. I'm going to keep going while you look up Rennie Harlan's filmography. We want to thank Jeff. We want to thank John and Joshua and Exorable Tash and Kevin and Lori and Mark. And Mark Meeting You asks, what would a Star Trek holiday special look like? Oh my God.
Wow.
I have a Star Trek holiday special going on in my tree right now. I got 4 really cool Star Trek ornaments on my tree. Oh, on ABCDTOS, we recently watched the episode, what's it called? Not Day of the Dead. It's the one with the guy from Barney Miller. Oh my God. Anyway, Kirk re-meets up with a lady doctor, if you can believe that, who he had some sort of fling with at the science Christmas party the year before. So maybe the Christmas special would just be actually observing that party. I don't know.
I could
And then
see
some
it
more
After
being.
the
pictures.
Star Wars holiday special, would it be something just like Klingons talking and not translated?
Oh my God, yeah.
gosh.
But then I realized there are so many people that speak Klingon that I get that.
I know.
Wouldn't that be that far fetched?
That's
And then you picking it
hilarious.
apart, like actually he used the wrong
Yeah.
conjugation.
Subjunctive
of
here instead
blunder.
of ablative. Yeah.
Declension. I would think it would be a little bit like Star Trek 4, and then it would be kind of like they, one of those things where it's like, the North Pole has been it's under the ionosphere of
Yeah. It's up to the Enterprise to save Christmas.
exactly, and they have to.
There's a probe looking for Santa Claus.
There's
where he is.
but it would have that same sort of fun and frolicking adventure sort of thing where they have to. They all get together, and I don't know. But basically, how do you fill all the presents in Santa's sack? And like Spock would have the answer.
Oh, and the Enterprise helps him. Like, they beam everything into everybody's house at the same time. That's how he delivers all his presents in one night.
No, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, this is beautiful. Thing
There
writes
it is.
itself.
Yeah.
All right. We also want to thank Matt and Matthew and Michael and Mom to Remy and Drew and Natalie and Natsuki Best Doki. And Neil asks, what would you ask Kurt Vonnegut if you were hanging out at a clam bake?
Oh.
Wow.
I'd be like, do you really like seafood?
Yeah, I think I want to ask him something like conversational that would lead to an actual conversation.
Exactly.
Is this your first clam bake?
Kurt Vonnegut now? Because I would want to ask him what it's like on the other side.
Yeah. How'd you get to this clam bake from the netherworld?
And he seems like he would be one of the perfect people to answer that question from the other side.
It's true.
Yeah.
Like he would have a great answer.
Yeah. Now, however he described, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, it makes sense.
You put that perfectly, Kurt Vonnegut.
Yeah.
We have a shared reference. Yeah.
You're right.
That's a good question.
We also want to thank Nicholas and none but unbelievable. And Orange B. Cooper and Patrick and Pella and Pork Snorter House and Raiders of the Lost Hatch. It's not lost. It's right there for everyone to use.
Nobody comes out of there alive.
We want to thank RuneBot, Techno Union Rep. And we want to thank Sasha and Scott Roseanne and Sean and Steve and Stina and Sully Baseball and Tears for Veers and the Carlyles and the Wilder Ride and Tierney, aka One Steel Sister, and Tim and Timmy Bricks, period. This must be the season for Timmy Bricks.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, with all the gift giving and the Legoing and the... Yeah. We actually took apart and then put back together our little Santa Village Lego set like this week.
Nice.
It was good fun. It's charming. We want to thank Tom, and we want to thank Trinko has been and always shall be your patron.
Aw. Wow, that's
so
lovely.
nice. I want to thank Vibrant Visionaries with Heidi Bennett and Wendy. And what is a Jawas? Oh, I'm going to just ask this here. Look, somebody else got us a nice, this is Dengar Dave. He got us a nice riddle. Jerry, what is a Jawa's favorite pasta?
Oh, hang on. Wait, it's going to be like angel hair. Utini!
Yeah, or like linguini.
Yeah. It's going to be, what is it?
You're both right. It's Rotini!
Dengar Dave is a great name. But I'm just going to ask you guys, whose name is your favorite on the list? Because we have a lot that it's like you hear them and you go, oh, that just feels like home.
Yeah.
Like I really kind of laugh inside every time I hear none but unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, what is that? Or like guy with headphones.
Yeah. He's just a little pictogram that looks like a guy wearing headphones.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all great. I don't know. Maybe Tom. No, that's my name.
Pork
They're all
Snorter
great.
House.
I mean, that's fantastic. Pork
Everything
Snorter
ending
House.
in alarm.
Right. When you all Douglas is scratching with Pete, that's a good one.
Oh yeah.
And you know what else is great? Zaction.
That one's good.
Yeah. Zaction bringing up the rear, closing us out big time. Now it's time for you all to listen to our conversation about the lovely and fantastic and time-honored Star Wars holiday special for the holiday season, which we are in the midst of. And I hope you're having a nice one. I know it's weird, but hopefully it's great, and hopefully this helps make it even more greater fun.
Yeah. What to my wondering eye should appear?
But some Wookiees, who I didn't want to hear.
So now we cut to Princess Leia's office. She's sitting behind a desk.
Busy with paperwork.
Yep, and C-3PO is trying to work the TV to get Mala on the screen.
Yeah.
And Leia's wearing her hair buns and her princess robe from when she was first captured.
Yeah. Now she looks, like Han Solo. She looks exactly like Princess Leia. It's like, okay, that's Princess Leia from the movie Star Wars. But she does not feel like Leia at all.
No, she really.
I actively dislike her in this.
Yeah, I do too.
So what?
There's something kind of like fakey, officious politician kind of like very. She's being very fakely polite in a way that you're like, she doesn't want to be here and she's trying to get you out of her house or something.
Yeah, when she's talking to Maul, she says, "Look, I don't want to tie up the channel. Could you do me a favor and send Chewbacca or Han Solo to the screen?"
Yeah.
The way she says it is just like, "Oh, that's horrible."
Yeah.
But then she asks if there's someone there that could translate, and 3PO steps in and says, "If you'll permit me," and then he asks her if she's alone, and 3PO turns back around and says, "No, she's not alone. She's with a friend." And he pauses before he says a friend, which is why I think maybe she and Ed Norton have a little something going on.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Does that mean she just told 3PO that? Like, oh yeah, my boyfriend's here. Don't tell Chewie.
Yeah, I don't know. Because, I mean, if you listen to how he says it, that's exactly how he says it.
Yeah.
She's with
a friend.
A friend.
Wink. I can't wink, Your Highness, but you know, get it?
If you'll permit me.
Yeah. But then like he says he's a local trader and says that's what he says, a friend of the rebellion and a member of the alliance. And Leia's like, "Oh, good, okay, I can trust you." And then she says, "I can count on you to take care of my friends until their leader returns."
Right. Yeah, that's what she says, leader. That's just weird.
And she's talking about Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is just strange.
And I don't know if the script had rewrites or if this was how it was written. But it's really weird.
Yeah.
So is she also, you can take care of my friends because she knows that the martial law has been imposed?
I guess.
Like, why do the Chewbacca, I don't even, what are their names? The Chewbacca, I don't even want to know. Yeah, I don't even want to know the damn last name. I'm sure there is one. Yeah. Why do they need to be taken care of? Like, because it's sort of like a friend, and you're like, okay, now that there's a man in the house.
Yeah. Why do they?
I don't know. Why do they and so he's part of the Rebel Alliance, and you're like, well, I mean, aren't the Bacas part of the Rebel Alliance? I mean, I don't know. Just Is it? I guess maybe because martial law has been imposed. Maybe she knows that they're going to go from house to house, looking for suspicious activity. I mean, I feel like saying they just had it 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
With Itchy.
Yeah. Something weird's going on here.
Yeah. It's a very strange thing. They're going to go house to house throughout the entire system, every house in the system, to look for suspicious. I mean, why don't they do that every day of the year?
Yeah.
It's their job.
This is like their round up the usual suspects. Yeah. But it's funny because Leia says, she asked him to take care. She asked Art Carney to take care of her friends until their leader returns. And then he says, "Yes, indeed, ma'am. That's what I'm here for." And he puts his arm around Mala.
Take care of her real good.
Yeah. But then he's like, "Now then, what's that I smell? Could it be some of those famous Wookiee-scented?"
Oh God,
Ah,
that's disturbing.
yeah. That sucks.
Not in front of the child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're back to Han and Chewie in the Falcon.
So Pete, what are Wookiee-scented?
I don't know. I just thought it was those cookies that Lumpy was trying to steal at the beginning, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
Probably.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
if we're lucky, that's what they are.
No, Jerry, you know me. I'm not a Wikipedia guy.
Yeah.
I don't know anything that's not on the screen.
There you go.
I refuse to accept
I
any
don't even know
outside
what the hell is on the
information.
screen.
Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, so now Han says they better land on the north side of Kazook because it's safer there. Which seems weird because that'd be like if you're flying to New York and you say, "Let's land at the North Pole."
Yeah, right. We'll just walk.
Yeah, and Chewie complains. Yeah, Han says it's a long walk. A little exercise never hurt anybody.
We'll
But I was
be there in
wondering,
7
does
weeks.
Han Solo exercise?
I don't know.
He
doesn't have to.
I don't think he does.
See, I picture him having one of those like pull-up bars between the door, like
Oh,
and like when Leia walks by, he like starts doing pull-ups.
Yeah. 1001, 1002.
But yeah, so
And there's a kind of like actually almost clever like misdirect here because they're flying over. You know that they're approaching Kazook,
Mhm.
and they cut to Lumpy in his room, and he hears a ship go over,
Mhm.
and he's like, "Oh, I bet my dad's home." And he runs, and oh no, it's stormtroopers.
Yeah, that's good actually. Yeah.
right.
Yep, and he opens the door and the stormtroopers there,
Dun,
and then we
dun,
cut to
dun.
commercial.
Yeah,
And this is the commercial you were talking about, this first
yeah.
one.
It's like, hey, coming up on CBS, and it's like 60 Minutes, and like All in the Family,
Uh-huh.
which is like a legit great show.
Yeah.
It was great then, it's great now, like groundbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get Alice, which is like, okay,
Yeah, that's
it's
solid.
It's fine, it's enjoyable, it's a little bit forgettable, but it's good.
Yeah.
And then it's like Lucy in Nashville, like Lucille Ball,
Yeah.
like doing exactly this Star Wars show that we're watching, but in Nashville. Like it's like another variety thing with all of her fun, talented guests or whatever. And then Dallas, which was like, nobody argues that it's good, but it was like huge at the time.
Yeah.
Everybody was into it and stuff.
Huge.
And it's like this, nighttime. So like, I'm pregnant. It might not be your baby.
Yeah.
And JR's just glaring at her and stuff. And it's like the full. It's like, okay, TV could be great, or it could be fine, or it could be kind of trashy but enjoyable.
Yeah.
Or it could be like really stupid.
Yeah.
Or it
the whole
could be,
gamut.
60 Minutes. It's like, okay, we need the shows like 60 Minutes. That those are part of our democracy almost and stuff. But we don't really need Alice. We don't really need Lucy
Yeah.
in Nashville.
Yeah. Did you guys ever have like a Who Shot JR shirt or a hat?
No, but my parents let me stay up and watch. I think the episode. Oh, it was like a double. They did like 2 in a row. They did like him getting shot, and then like another episode right after that. And I thought right away that Sue Ellen did it, but it wasn't her.
I've never seen an episode.
I've never
I used to
really?
watch just the intro, like the see Texas Stadium.
Yeah, Pete, when you and I were in college, do you remember
Yeah.
I went to the
Yeah.
mall and I bought a tape of
I
it was
loved that.
TV's greatest theme songs, and it
Oh,
had
nice.
Dallas on it, which was
Yeah.
incredible. And it had the
Yeah.
A-Team, gunk, 1975. And it had Hawaii 5-0,
Yeah.
which I think was Hawaii Jive 5-0. It was like not.
Oh, it was like
I think it was like
Yeah.
when they do
Yeah.
like a fake version of it or whatever.
Yeah.
No, that's
A
too bad.
But Dallas had the best intro.
Yeah.
I'd say almost of
Mhm.
any TV show, but I never watched a single episode. I have no
Yeah,
idea who
same with
shot
me.
JR, but that was the biggest thing at the time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it was massive. Yeah,
That was on late too. That must have been on at like 10 p.m.
yeah, it was definitely like a nighttime show.
Yeah.
It was unusual that I got to stay up and watch it,
Mm.
but I found a way sometimes. Yeah, Dallas continued the education that I got from Charlie's Angels, if you know what I mean.
Just wait till we get to Flying High, Tom.
Oh my god!
Oh, wow.
I can't wait. Yeah.
That one's coming up though. Our
Yeah.
next commercial is for Comtrex, and this one's weird
Yeah, we can
There's
talk about this all day.
There's a guy that opens up his medicine cabinet. Or there's this bathroom. And there's what seemed to be man and wife, and he opens up his side of the medicine cabinet, and he has like 30 different medicines in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then she opens up her side, and it's just one box of Comtrex, and she says, "This one pill does everything that all the medicine in his side does." And then she calls him out by name.
Yeah,
which is really weird.
Right.
Like she says,
Yeah.
Comtrex does better than Anacin, or which I've never seen.
Right.
I don't remember ever seeing in a commercial where the commercial says our product is better than by name.
Oh, that was huge back then. They did that constantly, and they do it in a couple of these. I think like there's other commercials.
I couldn't figure out. She's embarrassing her husband in front of the entire world.
You know what though? That was a thing.
Yeah.
That was like I wrote an essay about this in my notes here. That like there was a thread going through like shows and commercials, and I guess I don't think it still happens now because we're kind of beyond it a little. But like it was like the understanding that the woman was the smart one, but she never got to shine because the man, it was like a man's world and he's in charge and everything. And he's like up in front and everything.
Yeah.
And like the woman would like, come forward and be like, no, I got to figure it out. I got this one box of medicine that does all this stuff. I'm the smart one. And she kind of winks at, she doesn't literally wink here, but like, there's always that kind of understood wink of like, we get it.
Yeah.
Like, yes, the men get to control the world and everything, but we know what's up.
We know who's behind it. Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
And the weirdest part is her husband is kind of sitting there and he's not convinced.
Yeah.
In the commercial.
Keep taking his contracts and whatever.
Or either he's not convinced or he's completely content taking 30 different medications.
Right.
It's really, really weird.
Yeah.
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 And it is.
Like,
There's
I'll
something.
just get back with my mistress later, and I don't have to worry about that.
Well, I thought maybe this
bathroom.
entire commercial stemmed from maybe her husband was watching Diane Carroll. And she's like, she came in and she's like, you know what I'm going to do?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not going to cheat. You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to go and tell the whole world what a dumbass he is taking 30 medications.
Yeah. I'm going to eat pancakes on your grave after you die from taking all that contact and Anacin at the same time.
And it's really, I'm like, there's something really sad about having the his and hers of just one paltry medicine cabinet.
Yeah.
It's just one, and it slides and it slides. And I'm like, that's all you have.
There's no and there are no toothbrushes or anything. Like, it's just
no.
It's like you have half
pills.
a medicine cabinet to conduct your entire life out of.
It's like they're waging a silent war.
Yes, it's like a Cold War.
Yeah.
Fever reducers.
Their whole marriage is sliding that mirror back.
And he's just sitting there with a stupid grin. That's what's weird. He's not angry or he's not incredulous. And there's no denouement at the end.
Yeah.
He's not like, wow, you're right, honey. Thank you. I'll get Comtrex.
Yeah. What's incredible, too, is later on in the show, we get a commercial for Contact, which she's dogging on.
Yeah.
That's in his side of the medicine cabinet.
And I think they say something bad about somebody else in that one.
Anacin.
Probably,
There's an Anacin one, too.
There's also,
and I feel like saying, aren't all of them out of business?
I don't know if any of these. I think Anacin's still around, but I don't know about these other ones.
I mean, these days... I feel like doesn't everybody just take Oxycontin now?
Yeah, really. Before we were cool enough to have an opioid crisis.
Jesus.
Well, speaking of opioid crises, this next commercial feels like you're on an opioid when you're watching it.
My
it's
God.
The International Ladies Garment Union.
Oh my gosh.
And who best to represent the International Ladies Garment Union but some balding dude in a bolo tie sitting on a stool.
Yep. He talks about how if you buy clothing made by the International Ladies Garment Union, you buy American and you keep your tax dollars and your jobs local, which I think is actually great. Like I love what he's saying there. But and then we cut to like an older woman, maybe 70s, late 60s, like wearing some glasses, sitting on a big cube.
She's probably 40.
She probably is 40. It's the 70s. And she starts singing "Look for the Union Label," and then a whole cohort of others come in singing behind her, like they've all got her back.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Which
It looks a lot like the town meeting in Jaws. Are you going to close the beaches?
It does.
You know what's incredible? I watched these and I was like, wow, these commercials all failed. Everything, today every single thing is made
That's
overseas.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I
Yeah,
mean, there
you're
are
right.
some exceptions, of course. I understand. I mean, what's fascinating is this is so alive and such a lightning bolt in 1978. And in the drum community, like just watching drums over the years, it's like Ludwig's were made in Chicago, Illinois. Slingerland drums were made in Chicago, Illinois. It's like there was a whole thing. And then you see in the 80s, Yamaha gets big and Pearl, they're all made in Japan.
Yeah.
And there's this whole now everybody wanted stuff made in Japan. And then it's like, and then it comes back to the United States. Now, if your drums are made in the United States, that's what you should do. And it's this whole, it's a very, very interesting part of, American culture. And seeing it from the late 70s, I don't know, it was inspiring and also kind of made me sad. I'm like, there's hardly anything, at least
That's amazing what you said. Almost everything on here has failed. Like almost everything on here
it's like the last gasp
anymore.
It's like they just realized something was going wrong. And they're like, hey, everybody, please pay attention. Never mind. Forget it.
Yeah. And I understand there's a lot of boutique things that are made in the United States. And I think that's become a thing too. It's certain things and smaller companies that are rising and they're your neighbor or on Etsy or whatever. And that stuff's all really cool. But if you just look around, if you walk around your house and pick things up and see the little sticker of where it's made, it's just drastically different than what we saw growing up.
And generally, if you see something that says made in the USA, you paid a lot of money for it. Which is,
Yeah. Especially if it's garments.
We need to bring back the old ILGU.
Hell yeah.
So then we cut to commercial 4, which is a Thurston Howell looking guy getting a Snoopy and Woodstock phone.
Yeah.
And it's a be choosy, get genuine bell.
Okay, so
I actually literally remember this commercial.
So hold up. I remember, and Tommy, you made fun of me for years on this. I thought, being from Cleveland, growing up, that everybody had Ohio Bell. I just
you were in Michigan and you're using a payphone. A payphone is a phone that used to stick coins. A coin is a piece of money that you use. But yeah, we're looking at a payphone. It said like Michigan Bell, and you stood there for like 10 full seconds, and you're like, I thought it was Ohio Bell.
I did. I had no idea that
That's
each
awesome.
state, and then there's Pacific Bell. Was there Pacific Bell?
Yeah.
So what did you have, Tommy?
I mean, the names are all different now, but I think it was just New York Bell.
But in Connecticut, you had New York Bell.
But it was like, that big, that tri-state area.
Sure.
Well, I think most of the places I lived as a kid had Mountain Bell.
Oh, sure.
So what the hell is genuine? We don't have a state called Genuine. What's Genuine Bell?
I think it's just any Bell Corporation, because they were all like,
they
broke up the monopoly, but they all formed like sister companies.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was originally one like Ma Bell, and they broke them all up, like trust busting, and then they all became kind of sister Bell corporations.
That phone that they have there, where they take off the receipt, like they're making the point, like, oh, we got all these cool. You get a Snoopy phone, you get a whatever cool, like a oblong phone, whatever's in it. It's all still the same stuff inside, and they take the regular phone and they like lift it up so like the receiver and the whole cover comes off. And I was like, that'd be an awesome phone. I remember as a kid thinking, like, I want that phone. That's really cool.
Yeah. We ever see
naked
those see-through phones?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
They're kind of badass. I always wanted the one that kind of looked a little bit like almost like a hand purse.
Yeah. Is that kind of like what they have at the
I
beginning
think
of this
so.
one?
Yeah, where you pick up the receiver and it's really, really small. It's like the hand.
Yeah, and it sort of like blends perfectly into the like kind of circle.
And so what shape is that? What does that imitate? Pete, I know you know, because it seems kind of like mid-century modern, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. Yeah.
Like what shape is it? Yeah, why? Like, what is it imitating? Like, all I can think of is it kind of looks like a small handbag or purse or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
And did the
never
receiver?
know.
The receiver was small. It didn't have circular. It didn't have the circular cups, one on your ear and one on your
You're
mouth.
talking about the rectangular. They were kind of rectangular,
I
right?
think
Like
so, right?
yeah, but
Oh
they were
yeah,
small.
those guys.
Yeah.
How the hell
Do you
could
think
you
it was
use that?
Well, I think with as well as you're able to project, Jerry, I feel like you could have held it to your ear and not had a lot of problem.
Well, thank you, Peter.
It's calling you a loudmouth.
Yeah, I know.
Was it still hilarious and shocking in 1978 to see like a rich Thurston Howell looking guy getting a Snoopy and Woodstock phone?
Yeah, and being delighted by it.
Yeah. Oh my God, that rich old guy has a Snoopy phone.
It's a weird juxtaposition. He's a rich guy, but he likes a
he's
Snoopy
regular
phone.
John D. Rockefeller, but
he's human like me.
yeah, he's still tied.
Now I like rich people.
Can't escape his childhood.
Well, speaking of can't escape our childhoods, we get commercial 5 is an ad for the Bible on CBS.
Oh yeah. Is that the John Huston one? Not yeah, John Huston.
Yeah, I think it
he
is.
directed
Yeah,
that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you the Lord my God?
Did you ever see that? Did you see the Bible, Pete?
I didn't see it. No, I didn't actually see it. I saw the 10 Commandments, but not the Bible.
It doesn't look good.
No.
It looks weird.
Although
70s
Star Wars
weirdness.
also doesn't look good on this, so it's possible
That is very
it was
true.
good like on a big screen if it were originally. But I don't know. But then we get a commercial for Reggie Jackson eating a Reggie Jackson candy bar.
Reggie bar.
Incredible.
Yeah. He said, at the end, he says, "Reggie, you taste pretty good."
That's what Diane Carroll said.
Yeah. So Pete, did he hit 3 home runs in one World Series game?
Well, he said he did. I'm
That's
gonna take him at his word.
incredible.
Yeah.
There's songs about him.
Yeah.
I remember the Reggie. I don't know if I ever in my life had a Reggie bar, but I do remember them.
I did. I remember going.
I vaguely remember
appreciating
I remember
them.
when they came out and getting them. I went to Revco.
Oh, they look disgusting.
Anybody in the Midwest?
Were they disgusting?
They look to me. I don't like milk
okay.
chocolate or caramel. So they,
Oh, right.
Well, you know the
You're
problem
weird.
about the Reggie bar is when you're going and you're perusing the candy aisle. The Reggie, well, it wasn't a bar. It was a circle.
It's small.
Yeah, it's a circle.
It was
it's like
small.
a,
And so you're
yeah.
you looked at it in like a Snickers, or I'll tell you
like
something
a
like
marathon bar.
yeah,
or
marathon
a-
bar
yeah.
was you kind of you're getting your money's worth on that. You know what I mean? And the Reggie bar, Reggie circle, whatever it was, that it just was small.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's pretty dense. It was pretty.
It was.
I mean, you see him. It's like
it looks dense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something
That's
that
good.
I would want to put in my mouth. Like, I don't know if that's a good ad. Oh, it's very dense.
Yeah. It's very significant. Oh, the show's back on.
Yep, we end the suspense and at the door is a couple of stormtroopers and another guy with a bad helmet and like an Imperial officer. And then they kind of start searching the house. And Ed kind of nonchalantly walks over and closes the door to the secret communication.
Yeah.
Oh.
But then
he's smooth.
And then what does I can't figure out. The stormtrooper goes and he opens something in the wall.
Yeah.
He opens the
does,
same thing, but there are
then
like 2 doors that hide the TV monitor. And he only opens the first door.
Oh. I was
Tricky.
like,
another
I
one
thought that
behind
was
it.
like a liquor stash or something. I don't know why I thought that, but
Yeah.
I guess it was just itchy.
It's like the Oscar Goldman briefcase that came with the Oscar Goldman doll from the $6 Million Man. And if you open the briefcase the right way, it's just one kind of normal briefcase. But if you open the wrong way, it's all exploded inside. So that door works the same way.
That's awesome.
I love being a kid. Childhood in the 70s was fantastic.
It was.
TV be damned.
It was amazing. Yeah. And maybe music be damned because Art Carney distracts the Imperial Guard, the guy with the bad hat, by turning on a hologram of Jefferson's starship.
I guess
God,
so.
that's weird.
I was just, as we were talking, I was trying to look up different lineups of Jefferson Starship because I'm not like a student of like Jefferson Airplane and Jefferson Starships, but there was always that one guy who was in all the versions, and I don't see him in this one. Like you know him from like whatever, we built this city and Sarah and all those dumb things, and I don't think he's in this one. So is there some like weird like I think this is one of those bands that had like Yes, that had like 17 different versions, and you never have the same guys in the same thing, or I don't know.
Well, and I think the most disturbing image in all of this holiday special is at the beginning of this thing that the guy's watching, the whoever the singer is, you see him with his microphone in silhouette, and it is without a doubt the most phallic looking image I think that was ever shown on an American TV before probably the late 90s. It's amazing.
Wait,
you can get away with things in science fiction.
Yeah,
you slip that stuff in and nobody gets it.
Oh my!
But their brain does.
You know what? So I'm looking a couple of Oh wow! I just are you looking at it? So Sarah, obviously, but they also did "Find Your Way Back."
Yeah,
you remember that?
Yeah, find your way back to her heart. Yeah, I don't know who this guy is.
Oh,
I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm thinking like, okay, we need a musical number here. Who should we get?
Yeah.
Well, that's what's
I guess
so...
you go with Jefferson. Is it because their name is Jefferson Starship?
I think so. I think so.
Oh man,
this will be a great tie-in.
Get it? I mean, it works. It distracts the guard for 3 minutes.
I don't understand what these virtual things are.
I don't know.
Are they?
Like, this one's in like a box.
Is it like a video?
Yeah.
Is it supposed to be like a futuristic take on a video game? I guess, or
it's like it's all like
TV,
colored,
it's like
and
3D TV.
It's like
it's supposed to be like little holograms or something.
Yeah,
which I guess is an extension of Princess Leia's message in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Then he finishes watching it, and Ed Norton's kind of dancing a little bit behind him, and then they decide they're going to search the rest of the house, and the officer tells someone to go up and search the upstairs, and Mala tries to stop him, and the stormtrooper points a blaster in their face.
Yeah,
and the officer says, we don't want to have to hurt anybody. But then he says, but when my men get angry, I can't always control them. And I think this is the first time I've ever thought about stormtroopers getting angry.
Yeah. Like they're always kind of like bored or
that's
antsy
why I always, as a kid, thought they were robots, because they don't seem to have any emotion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely can't see them angry.
Right. Beyond like a, hey.
Yeah.
Get back here.
Yeah. And then we get the magic moment where while everyone's searching the house, Lumpy goes over and turns on his computer, and you think it's going to be like, it looks like he's about to play Simon at first.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
But then when he looks around and notices no one's paying attention, so he turns on the Boba Fett cartoon.
Yeah.
Okay, I have no idea.
I think it's super cool.
I just have to say, I didn't understand how this fit into this thing that I'm watching.
Well, think about this. So all of the characters from Star Wars are so well known in the galaxy that they have their own cartoon special.
Yeah.
So like,
oh my God,
Lumpy's watching his dad on a Saturday morning cartoon.
Right.
Wait, are you being serious right now?
I am.
That's what we're watching, I guess. I mean,
well,
and then what's even weirder than that is like when they get to the point, it's like a story about like Han and Chewie are off on something, and then they meet Boba Fett, like Luke meets Boba Fett, who they think is a friend, is going to help him out. Oh no, but Boba Fett is talking to Darth Vader, and when he gets to that point, like he makes it like Lumpy makes a noise, like oh no or something, and like the Imperial guys downstairs start coming up, and it's like, and it cuts to commercial, like oh no, Lumpy's going to get in trouble.
Yeah,
but like because he's
Wait.
Is the cartoon like life?
Wait a minute. Wait
like
a
Lumpy
minute.
stumble upon some deep secret that he wasn't supposed to know about Darth Vader?
So you're saying that they're all that famous that they have their own Saturday morning cartoon show, but Chewbacca needs to get a ride home?
Yeah. He's got a bum ride with his friend.
That and by the way, who's making the cartoon right in the face of Darth Vader?
Yeah, right.
Like, on Saturday, I'm gonna like, am I watching the Rebel Alliance cartoon channel?
Maybe that's why I think he's watching it on the thing that Art Carney gave him, right? So maybe it's
like indoctrination.
Or like, here's that, bootleg of that propaganda cartoon you're not supposed to have.
Yeah.
Here,
so wait a minute.
It from the officer.
Yeah. So did this happen? And it's a retelling of a story in cartoon form?
This is the only connection Lumpy has with his dad. He gets like cartoons of his adventures.
Or was it like, did somebody make this? Is it fiction? Because, you love your dad and his friend, so I'm going to create a cartoon about how they went to Pana and they ran into Boba Fett.
Somebody knows a lot about all of these people. Like, whoever made it knew a lot about each of them.
What is it broadcast
And they got the actual people to do the voices. So they got Luke Skywalker to do the voice of Luke Skywalker.
Oh my God. There's no getting out of this. This is just like a wormhole eating its
the most meta thing imaginable.
It's like the Beatles, I guess. It's like, the Beatles are real people, but there's a cartoon about them and stuff. Or like the Harlem Globetrotters are real people, but there's a cartoon about them.
Yeah, it is kind of like the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah.
But does C-3PO get royalties?
No, he'll get screwed. He's a droid.
That's true. But everybody else? Well, Chewbacca probably doesn't.
But so is the car? Is the car?
Leia probably gives her money right into the rebellion. That's why she does it.
But is the cartoon fiction or nonfiction?
If it is pure fiction propaganda, then why did they invent a guy who actually exists? Later on, Boba Fett.
Yeah.
See, I can't. So I'm trying to imagine how you're directing or writing this scene.
Mm-hmm.
You say, okay, so Lumpy needs to be distracted while they search his room. And
also, meanwhile, the producers have to find a place for this cartoon that George Lucas commissioned.
Yeah.
We got to shoehorn this into the thing somehow.
Yeah.
How can we kill two birds with one stone?
Lumpy's watching a cartoon about his father.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it starts off with his father looking like a bad guy.
Yeah. He and Han Solo are like not landing where they should. They're not. He's got like Han Solo like upside down in the
he's tied up
cockpit
and
of the
upside
Falcon.
down.
Yeah.
And is this the best? Is this the only Star Trek crossover in Star Wars?
Oh, what do you mean?
Big time. How did you miss
the voiceover? Starlog 324.
Yeah, how did you miss that?
From the bridge of the cruiser Reekvange.
I will say this: it is a captain's log on Star Trek, but I did notice that they said Starlog, which is a fantastic magazine.
Good for you, Pete.
What's
you
also
and me.
cool about this?
I thought it was Star Trek too.
Yeah, I did too.
You both failed. No, but what's cool about this, like when they Luke and 3PO and R2 crash landing on a water planet, is exactly and being attacked by like a big water creature thing is exactly in like episode or issue 4 or 5 of like the original Star Wars Marvel comics.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's like that exact situation. I always think of that when I see this. And it's cool. And that cool thing that Boba Fett has, that weapon that he like zaps the thing with.
That cattle prod.
Yeah, that's part of the Mandalorian's outfit in the show The Mandalorian.
Wow.
So like little by little that show will like reference Life Day and stuff like that. And like they're doing what they can to make this whole thing canon, which
that's
I think
awesome.
is cool.
Well, Boba Fett's like, "Hi, friend."
Yeah. Hello, friend.
Yeah. Hello, friend.
Nothing sinister about me.
It's just
at least he doesn't have an Australian accent.
Oh, thank God.
No.
But so
is that how you like? Is that would you meet somebody, especially if you're their arch nemesis? Would you be like, keep calling them friend?
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
Well, he's trying to hoodwink them, but I feel like Luke is a very poor judge of character.
Oh, give me a break. He's the worst. This dude's like strong with the Force.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there and it's like, and R2, how does R2-D2 intercept a message from Boba Fett to Darth Vader? Like they don't even have, they don't have a safe connection.
Yeah.
Well, we should describe this so people know what we're talking about. So,
sure.
Han Solo and Chewbacca are looking for a mystical talisman, which has been sought by both the Rebels and the Empire. And it starts with at a Rebel base. You see the Millennium Falcon flying right towards the base, and they think it's going to crash into the base. And so Luke takes off in his X-wing to intercept the Falcon. And Chewbacca actually fires on Luke, but Luke realizes they're not trying to shoot them.
By the way, hold up. That drives me nuts. And I think Luke has a Y-wing, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, you're right. He's in a Y-wing.
Cool. But that it's like Chewbacca's shooting at him, and he's like, Chewbacca's not that bad a shot, and then they just leave it alone. You're like, well, what is he doing?
Yeah.
Who's
he shooting him?
Like, I think is it because they're coming out of an asteroid field? Is he trying to clear away asteroids?
Or I think he's trying to keep them away.
Yeah,
he's got that thing. You find out later the talisman is like infecting them with some sleep disease or something.
Virus.
Well, here's the interesting part. It infects humans with sleeping sickness.
Oh,
but Boba Fett's not affected.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, interesting.
That's fine with me. I don't need Boba Fett to be
no.
human.
He doesn't need an Australian accent. He doesn't need to.
He doesn't need to have a dad named Django.
No. Doesn't need a story.
He's not
doesn't need more than 3 lines.
No, this is his story. This is his backstory right now.
Yeah, that's it. He's not an Aquarius.
Yeah.
That is super. Just outside of this episode and stuff, or this special, I do really, I don't remember knowing who Boba Fett was going into The Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, I did.
I do remember like before the movie came out, there was like a big, the Kenner action figures. You save the proofs of purchase and you can send away for this guy Boba Fett. And he seemed really cool and stuff. So we knew he was going to be in the movie, but I didn't remember seeing him in this.
I didn't either, but I always thought I just knew him from that action figure. But I bet we must have had some vague memory of him from this.
I didn't from this, but I had him from the action figure. There was a hum in the universe about Boba Fett, and you knew. Yeah.
And then they recalled it because it was put kids' eyes out because originally it wasn't going to shoot the
that rocket
the rocket thing in the back.
Although I've heard that's a Mandela effect thing.
Oh really?
They never actually put that out. They never
maybe right. Yeah.
But I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't. For some reason, I always thought they made 3 of them, and some lucky kid has a third.
Just enough for one kid to get his eye shot.
Yeah.
Put your eye out, kid.
Oh my god! I just thought of something.
What?
Does C-3PO have his own breakfast cereal in the Star Wars universe?
Oh my god! Yeah, he probably does.
If
we have it on Earth, he must have it. Yeah.
Wow.
God. And do they each have action figures of themselves and stuff? And does Han Solo have the Kenner Millennium Falcon somewhere on the Falcon?
Yeah.
So
although it's weird that Itchy carves an X-wing for Lumpy.
That's right. Yeah.
But Han Solo is a smuggler, but he's also a celebrity.
Yeah, this can't be good for keeping a low profile.
No.
Yeah. It's the whole James Bond thing. If everybody knows you're a spy, then what's the point?
Yeah, and they know what your car looks like.
And he's sitting there he tells Chewie, I don't know, fly casual. And you're dude, you're in the Millennium Falcon.
Actually, they weren't in the Millennium Falcon at that point, Jerry. They were in the shuttle Tiberium.
That's true. They weren't.
3 points from Jerry.
Out. Yes, it's true. I deserve that.
So I don't want to spoil too much of the cartoon because this is one part you might actually just want to watch if you haven't seen it. But it has a very we get a scene where Boba Fett, we see he's double crossing everybody because and C-3PO is R2, see if you can tap into I don't know, somehow see if you can see what Boba Fett's doing.
Right.
And R2 does some things with the control panel, and all of a sudden you see inside the phone booth where Boba Fett's calling Darth Vader.
Inside the phone booth.
It is though. It is like a phone
Yeah,
booth, right?
no,
Like
it is. He's using genuine Bell.
Yeah.
Pana Bell.
You know why I think I like this cartoon? It looks a little bit like it's kind of trippy in a weird way, like Yellow Submarine.
It
or
is.
something.
You know
It
what?
does.
I knew this would be your favorite part of this whole show.
It's just weird and cool. Like it's so removed from everything. It's like, let's just do something weird with Star Wars. And it's got the voices and stuff. So it's like kind of legit, but it's also way not legit. Like it's just weird.
Yeah.
It's like too weird to actually be Star Wars, but you're like, okay, I'm going to watch this. This is weird.
It reminds me a
Weird
lot. It
Star
just
Wars.
reminds me a lot of like 9. Do 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 do.
Exactly. It's like a Sesame Street made a Star Wars cartoon.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
5. It's just like, what the hell?
Sesame Street was brought to you by the letters TK and the number is 421.
So yeah, then at the end, they come back and they wake up Luke and Han, and everybody thinks that Boba Fett's a good guy, except Chewie. And then when R2 said, when C-3PO says, "Oh, R2 just saw Boba Fett talking to Han Solo on the phone, saying he wants to have us all lead him back to the base," and Boba Fett, the cartoon ends. It may be the most anticlimactic cartoon ending of all time. It ends with Boba Fett pointing his gun at everybody. And then he just basically says, "See ya, suckers," and shoots straight up in the air with his rocket pack.
Right.
And that's the end.
Everybody laughs and then leaves.
Yeah.
Oh my God. C-3PO laughs.
Yeah.
Do it, Tom. He goes like,
I'm going to do it. Super weird.
It's so weird.
It's almost as weird as Han Solo's face in this cartoon.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got this weird, huge, long,
Yeah.
eyeless face.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
He looks like he's I don't know, he's like a smushed up tough or something.
Yeah.
Yep. But we get a little break in the middle of the cartoon for some commercials. The first one's interesting. It's James Rock at the Pontiac engine plant for GM. And he says, "We're super critical on that line. We'll knock down engines for a bad paint job, and that's no jive, man." And he's like
Just lost half the audience.
70s was kind of a magical time.
Yeah. That's what it was
I didn't
like.
fully, that sounded like just stupidity. I was like, well, you should
Yeah,
probably
like-
repaint it. It's not the end of the world if the engines work.
Right.
You know what I mean? I understand.
Or does it need to be repainted even? Like, just, it's okay if I have a, off color engine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the end of the world.
This needs to work.
So yeah, then we get commercial 2 where Marilyn Macula has switched from Duncan Hines yellow cake to Pillsbury yellow cake.
These slow motion zooms into like these housewives eating this cake.
Oh,
It
it's
sounds so disgusting. It's moist because it has pudding
Moist.
in the mix.
Ew.
is that what
I
it,
remember
you know? And
that.
I wondered about that. Is cake supposed to be? I mean, I know it's not supposed to be dry, but do you sort of roam the earth looking for moist cake?
Yeah.
I feel like
I guess you
But,
do.
well, I think these commercials, paired moist and cake together, like
Mhm.
in perpetuity.
But it's
Yeah.
like
weird
Duncan
because watching
Hines
this,
and moist and
Yeah.
like it's
but watching this in 2020, like I just think yellow cake. I think uranium.
Why just
It's more like scratch.
That's such a weird line. She said
that is
that.
that's a really
Yeah.
really weird line. I just think like when do you use the word moist?
Moist.
Moist, moist,
Moist.
moist,
Creamy.
moist. No, you. I mean, you use it
mealworms.
around cake, and you
Yeah.
use it like if you just swam in a swamp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're coming out,
moist.
and it's like 3 hours.
Duncan
later.
Hines is more humid than
Yeah.
Pillsbury. There was that one. There was like that frosting that they would like the ad would be like the woman cuts out a knife shaped thing out of like a paper plate, and it was like showing how just like immaterial the frosting was, that they could spread it with like this really thin paper knife. And it's like, is that a good thing? Like, is he gonna like adhere to the cake? I don't know.
It's kind of like it's like the truck. Yeah, it's filled with mercury, and that truck will follow the cake spreading.
Right. I mean, I guess you don't want a dry
No,
cake.
I understand. That's what you get made fun of at the potluck.
Yeah, but you could go too far in the other
What
direction.
horrible, horrible person brought this dry cake?
Delicious. It's more like scratch.
But that's, I
Do you
mean,
want pudding in your cake?
See, that's the thing. Like they're in their quest to avoid a dry cake, then they're going to end up with like this just kind of like muddy kind of thing. Like, okay, what else? We'll put pudding in it. We'll put pudding in the mix. It's not even like there's like the layer of pudding or anything. It's like part of the makeup of the cake.
Maybe it was really good. I don't know. Maybe.
Probably
there's
fantastic.
something Pete, is it appealing to watch these middle-aged, housewives slowly eat cake to their delight?
What's weird is that's the point of the episode. Like they're naming them and what to get from and stuff.
Yes.
Like, these are actual housewives.
These are
not
real
alluring actresses or
people.
anything.
Yeah.
And that's what's so interesting.
It's more like scratch.
As you said, Pete, it's so genuine. We have the guy on the line who's working, and he's going to be damned if somebody gets a speck off color on that engine. And then they give their names of what's her name again?
I don't know.
The first one's Marilyn Makela.
Yeah.
When you asked if I found that alluring, I was first wondering if you were asking if I had like a cougar fetish. And then I got really sad because I realized that at our age, a cougar fetish, like the woman would be like 70 years old. Like we're older than all these women in this commercial.
Oh man. What would happen if you like Google these people? What if you Googled
I Googled James
Trahan
Rock
from Scottsboro, Alabama?
I did Google James Rock from the Pontiac engine plant, but that's no Jive
awesome.
Man guy, but I couldn't find
How's
anything.
he doing?
Yep, no
Damn
hits.
it. Yep. What about Pat Lundquist from Shawnee Mission, Kansas? How's she doing? How's her cake? And then Linda Sutter from Norcross, Georgia. It's just like scratch.
Oh, you know what's
It's
interesting?
the most unappealing sentence. You're talking about moist cake and pudding in the mix. It's just like scratch. Scratch.
And then you live in a town. Your last name is Lundquist.
Yeah.
See, what's interesting, it's very, very interesting.
Sorry, all the Lundquists out there.
No one is from New York City.
Right,
no one is. No one, because
from,
you know what? They don't know about cake in New York City.
Yeah.
I feel like
supermodels from Los Angeles don't know anything about cake.
Yeah. Well, it's like that. Was that ad from the 70s or the 80s? The New York City, where the guys are eating salsa. It's like Old El Paso or something. And
it's funny.
I do remember
that. Then we get commercial 3 where Ma makes some Hungry Jack biscuits.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I fully remember this commercial.
I do too.
Yeah, I do
this
too.
whole line of commercials, yeah.
I have a mountain of questions about this one. This is my favorite commercial, by the way. First of all.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, what is the Hungry Jack, Mrs. Jack relationship? Because
he calls her Ma.
That's her boy, right? That's his ma. Yeah.
Although maybe that figuratively.
So wait a minute. How that was it a
scared.
C-section?
Instead of a sugar daddy, she's like a biscuit ma.
Oh no, she's just my biscuit ma.
No. Well, I wanted. Is this?
So you're assuming he was born with that girth?
Yeah, like I mean, I don't know a C. I don't know, like it would have to be like a U section.
Yeah,
U section.
I'm wondering, is that her?
Is that her? Like, how's she supposed to like provide for him? Like, she seems so happy and so excited about.
Well, did she name him after the biscuits?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So wait,
yeah,
I'm
I
still.
guess
so this is her son.
Yes, this is her human child.
That's weird. I'm not saying it would be weird. It would be weird if this was her. If this was her husband. I mean, it's not a wedding night I want to see. But it's weird if this is really weird if this is her son. Did you did she name them after the biscuits, or did he just eat the biscuits and then grew into that size because the biscuits are so fortified?
Yeah. Where do you get those boots and that belt?
Is this a Jack and the Beanstalk reference?
I think it is.
You know what's amazing though? This commercial is working on me so much. I badly want one of these biscuits.
Oh, they look great. Yeah.
There's that time lapse thing of them like cooking in the oven and stuff. And I used to have these things all the time.
Yeah.
These and like the Pillsbury ones.
Yeah, me too.
And like if no one's looking, you eat some of the dough just raw.
Sure,
that's the best.
Like, this is kind of gross, but this is fantastic.
Well, isn't he doing something? Isn't Hungry Jack doing something like is he gardening or something like that?
It's like a lumberjack or something, isn't he? Or he's like building a dam or murdering a deer or something. I don't know.
And is he friends with the Jolly Green Giant?
Yeah. You got two of the basic food groups battling it out.
And then she looks at me and she's like, "Because I know you have one of your own."
Oh, wait, I do?
Yeah, well, I know I don't. I'm not stupid. I didn't set my life up like that. Where all I have to do is slave over biscuits every day just so I can provide for
I have to buy 5 tubes of this Hungry Jack stuff just to serve one meal to this guy.
One meal to my offspring.
And you get the impression that's all he eats.
Yeah.
There's no like meat, no vegetables,
right.
No protein of any kind.
That's pretty amazing though when you think about like that small tube. Like if you ate popcorn that filled that small tube, you would be starving. But if you eat that small tube full of biscuits, you couldn't do it. Like other than if you're this giant Hungry Jack guy.
Or if you did, you'd never poop again. But that's okay. You're full. So that's crazy.
Then we get to my favorite part of all of this is the CBS News break with Marlene Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to read this verbatim, what she says here, because it's amazing. And this is, remember, this is a show for kids and family. So she comes in with a news break. Soviet President Brezhnev told 12 U.S. senators that the Soviet Union once tested a neutron bomb but never put it into production. That's the bomb that kills people but leaves buildings standing. In other news, William Campilas has been convicted of selling top secret materials to the Russians.
Oh my gosh.
Nothing is safe, kids.
Yeah. She does end it on a light note, though. Like
she does.
It was some 9 months ago when the blizzard of 78 hit New England, and the medical community predicted this would be a busy time for the maternity wards. But it hasn't happened. One nurse said most of the men must have been out shoveling snow.
That's kind awesome. Of a feel bad story.
Well, maybe they enjoyed the
You know
break,
what I can't figure out is why when newscasters are done, they look down
and they
start writing on the page. It drives me nuts.
I think she's writing, "I'm done.
Yeah.
I quit.
Did it. I nailed it once again." Have they faded yet? Am I out?
That's so scary, though. That's the bomb that kills people but leaves buildings standing.
Yeah, and now that you've had a nightmare, nothing is safe. Your country's secrets are being sold to your enemies.
Heck.
And people have sex and then they have babies, but sometimes they don't.
Yeah, worse. You would think that the one time they would. They don't even.
People have nothing to do,
they're not.
But be close to each other. They choose to do labor instead.
There's no conjugal bliss.
Is this a euphemism, though? The men were all out shoveling snow.
See, I think this might. There's a tie-in here with that little thing that Art Carney brought over.
Oh God!
And you're like, that's kind of the problem.
Snow. Yeah, shoveler.
Or is that like cocaine?
Yeah.
Shoveling snow.
So then
this reminds me of this news break. There's like, I think this version that we saw on YouTube has like one of these super quick little like local things, like, you know, what's gonna be whatever like the thing,
Baltimore, whatever TV station. Yeah.
But like in New York, the one that I had, it cut to like the local CBS guy, and I think it did it like twice during the show, and it was just like fighting the Frizzies at 11. And it was like just like this thing, like that was the copy that I had. I think it was like the first copy that I got in the 90s, fighting the Frizzies at 11. And like decades later on South Park, on one of their Christmas episodes, like they kept cutting to a live action guy saying fighting the Frizzies at 11. And you're like, oh, this is the best show in the entire world, that they would devote so much energy to a joke that maybe 20 people will get across the country. That's so awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of jokes that maybe 20 people will get across the country, the next ad is for Bobby Vinton's Rock and Rollers.
Holy smokes. That looks like a party.
Wow.
It's like grease on wheels.
Oh,
That's all we need.
And I think, what do they say? It's from the producers of Donnie and Marie.
Yeah. We see like Laverne is there and Eric Estrada and I don't know.
wow.
Yeah.
People would like say, oh, Bobby Vinton's Rock and Rollers is on. Turn it on. We missed the beginning. Hurry up. Bring in the TV tray.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of the 70s. One of the nice things was, though, that, no matter what time you got home for work or turned on the TV, it wasn't that hard to catch up.
Wow.
Right. I've lost the thread of this variety show. Yeah. Who's Mac Davis supposed to be in this one?
Then we get an ad for Richard Burton and Roger Moore and the Wild Geese, which I've never even heard of.
I've literally heard of it, but I've never seen it or almost seen it. Yeah, it's just one of those 70s war tough guy movies.
Okay. And then we have an ad with a large bald man with a mustache steps on a scale, and he drops his towel when he sees how much he weighs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And he decides he wants to lose some weight. And so the next scene, he's sitting down eating an enormous sandwich, and he's reading the legendary consumer catalog from Pueblo, Colorado.
I don't know what the consumer catalog from Pueblo, Colorado is.
Oh man, maybe because I grew up around Colorado, but it was always there were always these ads, and you would mail away from the consumer catalog, and the address was always just Pueblo, Colorado, blah blah blah, whatever the zip code was, and it was a list of free things you could get from the government.
Oh,
It was a list of free books. So like this guy, the guy on the scale looks in the consumer catalog, and he finds a free publication about how to lose weight, and so he writes away for it, and they send it to him.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. The 70s are magical.
Yep.
It's more like Scratch.